His and Hers video podcast. My name's Melissa.
And I'm Sean.
And today is Sunday, January
27th.
We're recording a little bit later in the week. Our daughter is testing us in the evenings. She doesn't want to go to bed, so it made it hard to record on our normal recording day of Thursday, which is what we were shooting for, but life happens. So we're here still within the same week.
Almost.
Hooray.
Technically, no.
Last week's got posted on Sunday because of the
So there you go.
blip troubles, so it is within a week. If you don't like it, turn it off. I don't know what to say. I got a lot done this week.
Did.
How about you?
Not too bad, yeah.
Okay, what you been up to?
You want to tell people where we're from, or do that at the end? Like all
We've been doing that at the end.
Good, you don't need to know anyway. Dust 514 is back. I'm back playing that again. I hadn't been able to get on it last week very much. They were in the process of combining the servers between EVE Online, which is where PC players are playing the game EVE Online, and merging that with the servers for Dust 514 on the PlayStation 3. So that is completed, and it's up and running, and it's a lot of fun.
You can actually see the players on the computers in your game.
Not yet, because they're all outside of the orbit of the planet that we're on. So,
But you could see.
They have pictures.
Menu.
Yes, they have pictures.
Make
Whatever their profile picture is does show them. That's their picture with their name. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yes, I haven't really gotten into calling in the strikes because I don't really want to do that stuff. But it happened last night where we were calling strikes in. And the airstrikes that are called in, are the orbital strikes, are actually the planet's bombarded by players playing on a computer. So it's pretty sweet. And there will be, after the game releases, there will be lobbies in which you can communicate with these people. They'll have an avatar walking around, and so no idea how any of this is going to work. It's really cool though.
It's neat to see the
cool to be a
progression.
part of. This is the first time anyone's tried to do this cross-platforming to this extent. And for it to be a first-person shooter on our side, on the PlayStation side, is a lot of fun. You know, it's more space combat and stuff on EVE. You're flying around in a spacecraft, and there's a big thing with economy and trade, and it's all that stuff. But there's lasers and stuff, so that's cool.
Cool.
I restarted Reckoning, Kingdom of Amalur, because I enjoy it so much. I wanted to try playing it through a different character.
You're focusing on magic this time.
Using magic and more rogue type stuff. So it's poisons and bows and arrows and magic. And yeah.
Cool.
So I started that the other night.
Did you play Assassin's Creed at all? I thought I saw you play it one night.
I played it one night. I did a little bit. I just finished a big section where Connor went to New York City and was blamed for counterfeiting, and then a plot to kill Washington, and it was just
weird.
I couldn't get out of it. It was very long. That was last week. It was a very long time, and I haven't played since that because it was just like a 3-hour thing. I just didn't want to stop playing. I mean, it was awesome to be in the middle of it and play it all, but I just was like, whew. So
cool.
And the only thing I'm really looking forward to in the gaming world is God of War Ascension, which comes out for the PlayStation sometime in February, I believe.
February's a good month.
I've not done... I think it's in March, because I think in February comes out the single-player beta, which they're going to release. So I'd like to get that, too.
Is it the same situation as Dust, or...?
Yeah, but it's not. It's just single-player. They're going to release... It's a demo. Single-player beta is more of a demo, because they just want people to play it and then comment on what's wrong and things like that. So,
cool.
And I think I have free access to that through PlayStation Plus as well.
Good. Any knitting?
No.
You just jump in that ship? You just
no, I'm gonna still do it.
I
have to be in the mood to do it.
I follow an artist in London who does a lot of yarn bombing, and they have our version of the yarn machine. Theirs isn't pink, theirs is gray. As you're cranking it, if you just let it go up and into itself, it's so much easier.
Really?
Yeah.
Instead of pulling it down inside?
Yeah, which I didn't know. I thought letting it come up and inside was going to make things get all caked up. So, if we ever want a yarn bomb, might be a good way to do it.
Yeah.
So maybe that will be more of your forte, yarn bombing.
That sounds like fun.
Maybe you and Darren can work together and Chris Faye, and you guys can bomb some stuff.
Can I throw things at you?
No.
It's not that
yarn bombing is when you pick something and you cover it in yarn.
Oh, that's right.
So you do like trees or street signs, or I think that you should do our hydrant in front of our neighbor's house. I think that would be really funny if you just woke up one day and it was like...
covered in yarn?
Looking like R2-D2.
That would be kind of cool. So what do you knit? Just like a big tube and then you just put
You can do it that way, or you can fold it over and have it just be like a scarf, or...
I don't want to waste yarn that way.
Well, you buy acrylic for that. You don't... It's not like Madeline-tage. I'll show you some pictures, and if it's your thing, you can do it, and if it's not, you don't have to.
Okay.
I'm just trying to help you out. Because you complain that you can't game 24/7. So.
Hey, you know, and the offer has been extended for you to pick up a controller.
If I'm picking up a controller, I'm not knitting, weaving, or spinning.
And if I'm doing that, I'm not gaming.
We have come to a crossroads.
I know you'd like to call the show Hers and Hers.
No, I would not.
And it pretty much already is anyway.
No, that's not true at all. That hurts my feelings.
Why? It was a joke.
It's not funny.
It is kind of funny.
Week 3. Spousal abuse.
So people have to find where you hit me, and they're like... If you can pinpoint the minute and seconds, there'll be a prize. We'll do a drawing.
Oh, great. Nice. What's the prize?
I don't know.
Smart ass.
Maybe we'll give away some Madeline-tage.
No, we will not. I have a headache.
So?
So?
Is it your turn?
It is. Thanks.
Oh!
Thanks.
Transition.
Yeah. It's like it's our first week. I finished something, the knitting. I finished the knitting on my Antler cardigan. We're doing a knit along on the His and Hers Ravelry board, and I finished the knitting. I wove in the ends. I washed, blocked, and dressed it, and it grew a lot because it's superwash yarn, so I put it in the dryer. And it came out fine! I scared you. And it fits beautifully, and I'm very happy with it. So if you could help me on that side, please. You will see a couple of little ends. They need to be trimmed back, but everything is woven in. And I'm very happy with how it came out. It's so soft, and it fits perfectly. The next thing that I'm going to do is put grosgrain ribbon, which I have right here. It's a bright eggplant purple, and it's going to go on the inner side of the button band, and it'll go right down. And I'll sew it in. And then I will put on buttons and anchor buttons using the Knit More Girls tutorial from the Knit More Girls blog. And then I'll wear it. So that's all I need to do. I haven't been in the mood for finishing work. I like finishing work, but I have projects that I've wanted to knit on. So I could have done the ribbon and buttons and everything last night and had it finished for today, but I had another project that I wanted to knit on, so... It is done. I could have totally worn it today, but I want to put buttons on it first and do it right. So, yay! And that is knit out of Malabrigo Rios in the Plomo colorway, which is like a grayish purple. And I only used 5 of the 7 balls of yarn the designer said I needed. I had this much left, which is, I don't know, this is about 3 and maybe this is 5, so maybe 8 yards left of the last ball, and so now I have 2 balls left over to do a sweater for my daughter, but I'm a little miffed. Like, that's a lot of yarn. That's almost 850 extra yards, and I lengthened the sleeves by 2 inches, and I lengthened the hem by 1.5 inches. So I did more and still had a ton left over. So, I mean, I don't want to tell anybody to buy less, because then what if you don't have enough? I mean, I don't know. It's
Everybody knits different too.
They do. I got gauge. I always get gauge. I don't know. I don't swatch anymore because I just get gauge. But these are my buttons. They're from Deerfield Creations from the lovely Lori, and she did message me. Thank you. And they're African blackwood. And they're 3/4 inch. Oh, it was right on the sticker.
African blackwood.
Sorry, Lori. 3/4 inch African blackwood buttons, and there's 7 of them. And for my button
It would be interesting to know if that's grenadilla, actually, because that's what they make clarinets out of. So.
Oh.
That would be very
That would
interesting.
be extra cool.
Yeah. That is an African blackwood. And the blacker, I mean, that's not stained.
No.
So, and we have clarinets at the store that are that black, and that's the highest, higher, the darker it is, the better the green. So.
Wow. Look at that, Lori. He knows what's up. So for the buttons, in the actual pattern, there's information on how to do a single row buttonhole, and you can either do a 2 or a 3 stitch, or even a 4 stitch buttonhole. Gracie, don't knock that lamp over. Sorry, I hate that when people talk to their pets, but I don't want her to cause a fire. And so I did a 3 stitch buttonhole, and the directions were super simple, so definitely don't worry about making the buttonholes. And what I did was I did the top buttonhole and the bottom buttonhole 4 stitches away from each edge, because I wanted them to close up the top and the bottom nicely. And then from there I did about 10 stitches in between each of the buttonholes. And all of that is in my notes on Ravelry. So if this is something that you're interested in knitting eventually, go for it. This is my 2nd cabled sweater in a row. My Rhinebeck sweater had honeycomb cables all on the front. You don't get one. And you get 0 cables except you have a cabled hat. And this is actually the same cable pattern as your hat.
It is, that's right.
Yep. So I think I'm going to take a vacation from cables for a little bit. I just went through my stash Friday night at 11 o'clock at night. I was like, that's it! And pulled out a bunch of stuff to give to some friends who are newer knitters and still building their stash, because it's really good yarn. It's not craft store yarn, not that there's anything wrong with that. But it's really good yarn, and I just don't have a place for it anymore. So, I had a point. So yeah, I was cleaning out my stash, and I have a lot of sweaters worth of yarn in my yarn cabinet, and one of them is yours, and yours takes up, like, it's 2 bags. Yours is
cables?
Yes, it does.
Are you just lying to me?
No, it does. I'm either going to do the Walsh sweater for you, which is Walsh from Firefly, in the green Madeline Tosh Aran that I got from their website, not this past Thanksgiving, but the Thanksgiving before. Or there's the Frederick sweater from the Interweave Pride and Prejudice, I think it was themed. I feel stupid now. Pride and Prejudice themed magazine, and that sweater is amazing. But it's cabled until, like, your eyes bleed, which I can do. It will be fine. I just need to knit something that's not cabled in between that's a garment. So yours is coming. So that is almost done. I just need to do the button band, reinforcing. And then I finished a sock.
It's a good looking sock.
Isn't it? I love it. This is the Twisted Fiber Arts. Can you hold that for me?
Beautiful yarn bowl.
I know. Somebody nice bought it for me at Rhinebeck. This is the Twisted Fiber Arts Aerial Base in the Scrabble colorway. And I did an afterthought heel, and I do use a row and back of waste yarn to hold the spot of my afterthought heel. I then pick up the stitches on either side and cut the waste yarn, so I don't like pick it out or whatever. I like cut, snip, snip, done. It's done, and then you just knit. So, and from there I picked right up on the dark of the blue and went into the, I don't know, would you call it orange? Coral? Something?
It's a coral. Yeah.
Corally orange. And then the toe, I just went until I got to the dark of the blue. So they came out really nice. When I was starting the second one, for a second I thought, maybe I'll start the top with the coral. And then I was like, no, they have to match perfect. And they're pretty close. I think I have 2 rows too many. Yeah, of the light blue of this one. I don't care.
No.
Like, that's close enough.
Yeah, but that's the cuff. It's not going to matter. Everything else will line up.
Everything else will line up. So I'll just keep knitting until
just pull one sock up
halfway through.
Pull one sock up a little higher, that's all.
Yeah, it'll be, once you wear them, it's fine. So, one is done, and the second one is on its way. I just got to the knitting rows. The cuff is just done on that. And I have a lot of yarn left over. I love this yarn. I've put myself on not a yarn diet, but I'm going to be very mindful of what I purchase for the next little bit, because I have a lot of stuff that I really like, and going through my stash and lining things up and neatening things and culling the stuff that is good, but it's not what I'm looking for right now.
You want to make room for the big stuff. That's what you want to do.
The big stuff.
Yeah, the big boy yarn.
The big boy yarn. I like that. So I want more of this. It's on my list, and maybe somebody will get me a skein or two for our anniversary in October, because by then I'll have knit up a little bit more stash, I think. So if you do like this yarn bowl, which Sean bought me at Rhinebeck, it's from Bobby Hodges Pottery, and their email address is bhodges51@hughesnet, HUGHES.net. They don't have a website, but if you email them, they'll send you pictures and you can choose, and this was only $25.
Gorgeous.
And it's really pretty. And the artist was telling us all about how they made it. It was really cool. I like how in a couple of spots the glaze actually is cracked, which I love. I love pottery. And that's it for what I've finished. I am working on finding my spot in my Shipwreck shawl. I have my bead spinner out. I've printed out the pattern. I think I'm a couple of rows off from where you adjust the, I think it's madras lace is what you call it, the leaf portion. I just need to figure out which row I'm on there and finish that, and I'll be on the beaded portion. So I'm really almost halfway in that, even though I haven't touched it. And it wasn't something that I started on my maternity leave. I went back to my Ravelry projects, and I started it the summer after. So I had been back at work for almost a year at that point, and I had started it because it was the project I was keeping at my desk. During the summers at work, it's quiet compared to the rest of our year, so, you know, people sit there and read books, and, you know, you're doing your travel scheduling as people return your phone calls or emails, but it's relatively quiet. So that's why I had started it, and I think I was knitting other things last summer. I think I was working on my Rusted Root sweater and other things, and I just put that on the back burner. So I'm glad that Wendy from Knit One Heart 2, Penny Winnie, is getting really far on her. She just last night, I think, started the second portion of the beading chart where she go up a needle size. So the Shipwreck shawl pattern is on Knitty. I have links in the notes on my project on how to do Russian join, how Leslie, You Don't Call Me Les, from the Knit Girls, did her notes. So that's linked in my profile as well, so that I can refer to it, because she kept copious notes, and she's knit it, I think, twice. And then she did her even star, I think. So it's really nice when people keep detailed notes like that, because when you come back and knit it yourself, knowing those shortcuts, especially in lace in the round, is really, really helpful. So I know Wendy's taking really good notes on hers too. So yesterday I decided that all of the little tiny voodoo monsters that I keep seeing on Instagram, I had to have at least one, if not 12. So I went to go buy the pattern, which I wasn't going to buy at first because it was $5, and $5 isn't a lot of money. Like, I gift a couple patterns a week, whatever. But I felt like $5 for a toy for me, because I'm not a toy knitter. I've knit a couple toys, like I did Jerry the Musical Monkey, a couple others.
Monsters.
I've done monsters, but they're just knit for me. Like, I don't mind them, they're cute, but I don't get hyped up to knit them. But this, I was like, I have to knit it. So I went to go buy the pattern, and the designer was having trouble with her PayPal. It wasn't accepting payments, so I had put up on Plurk, you know, does anybody having trouble buying anything? Like, is PayPal down? Is the Ravelry join between the two down? Is this person's individual stuff down? And somebody, I think it was Heather Boutros Babe, had suggested that I go and message the designer, and I was like, I can wait till tomorrow, but maybe I'll message. And so then, in the course of that, my friend Amy, Froggy Monkey, gifted me the pattern right as the designer fixed. She had some kind of an issue with her PayPal, so she fixed it. Amy sent it to me, and within minutes I was knitting it. So I'm already here. I'm using my hand spun, which is from Inglenook Fibers. They had sent this to us to review about a year ago, and I spun it up. It is a merino silk alpaca kid mohair Romney Angelina Firestar blend, and I chain plied it into a worsted and got about 120 yards, which was about 10 wraps per inch.
I love the color.
And it came out really, really great in my opinion. It's soft, it's squishy, it has a lot of body to it, which is nice. And I decided that my Voodoo, You Love Me, needed to be, like, dead. I don't know. Like, I loved the color. Like, it looks like decay, or, you know what I mean? Or like a really dark moss.
It looks like a swamp monster.
A swamp monster. There you go.
It's like a swamp thing.
And so I'm at the straight rows on the head. And you stuff it as you go, and this will probably, at least the head and body will be done tonight. Then I'll start on the limbs. But I like it because here and there you can see the silk and the Firestar. And it's so fun to knit up with hand spun. Like, I knew when I spun this that this wasn't going to become a garment. It's soft, but it's not, like, I think over time it would get a little itchy around my neck as you sweat in and out of stores and in and out of the car. So,
In and out of stores?
like, you know, you're shopping, you're going to the supermarket, you're, like, wearing a scarf, getting gas. I don't know. Like, I thought it would be itchy, so I'm glad I used it for this. And we were talking, we went out to brunch, which I am now calling luncheon, like Cora from Downton Abbey. And I was knitting on it, and we decided that the heart should either be purple or black.
You have this death thing with this.
Yeah, and I wanted to have like lime green holding it on, like a really bright lime green. And you do one eye, which I've already got out on my desk, and then the other one you do either a button or like an X, like it lost an eye. I'm so excited. I love it. You don't think it's awesome?
It is awesome. I want one.
It also looks like something else.
Yep. Moving on.
So I have some yarn in here to maybe do one for the kids, and everybody's getting a Voodoo. I love it. It's so fun. And you stuff it as you go, so the finishing work is minimal. You just sew on a couple arms and a couple legs and you're done. That's great. So that's all I'm really... Oh, my mom's calling. That's all we're really working on, which is fun. We've been doing some weaving. We busted out the loom. And this took quite a while to warp up.
And lots of swearing. And
well,
some throwing.
The reason for that is because on this rigid heddle, the dents that have the holes, this is an 8 dent, which means that it's fine. It's for, you know, fingering weight yarn. And I'm using Woomies for the warp, which was gifted to me from Lisa Fiber Nymph a couple years ago. This is all that's left. I don't know the colorway because she had already had it caked up and everything. But we warped it so that the colors kind of pool. And then for the weft, we're using some 8-2 Tencel in the taupe colorway from Webb's, which Sean picked up on his way home from work one day. And
into the lion's den. Yeah.
And
you get lost every time.
Well, they move yarn every day, and I try to explain that to you. You can't find it on your own.
It's like we have a drum section, we have a guitar section, we have a brass section.
Karen,
you walk into that store and you're like, all right, I got this.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
What the?
Karen likes to move things and feature things, and when I worked there, every day you were moving yarn. It moves.
I got that thing because it was next to the door, and I'm like, no way, that's not it.
The cones don't move unless they have to like shampoo the carpet or something. Yeah. The cone shelves don't move. They've always been in the same. Well, as long as I've been going there, 7 years, they've always been in the same place. So, I use parchment paper to hold my warp, and you use that because you don't want your strings to cross, because then that impacts the straightness of your warp. And we're not tamping down too much on our woven fabric. We want it to be really open, so it's coming along. We have about 3 inches, and I used a little bit of my Antler yarn to set my warp. And I use the videos that are on the Shocked website. They're great. My loom is old. It's vintage, which I like. You know, it doesn't have tension. It doesn't have bells and whistles. It doesn't even have a frame, which I'd like eventually, but they're expensive. So, I don't know. We'll see. I hope to work on this more this week. I didn't get to work on it at all this last week, and we forgot to show it in last week's podcast, so I wanted to show you.
It's something that if you like it enough, and if we had the room, you'd get a real one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I need another loom. I like my loom, I am going to get another, I think I'm going to get the 12 dent rigid heddle, so I can use worsted yarn.
Is this bone?
No, it's plastic.
Would you like a bone one?
No. And then, yeah, it's going to be a scarf. I think we did, how many feet do you think we did, or yards?
3 yards.
I think we measured it out to be about that.
9 feet.
And we worked around a chair, rather than a peg, which held it really nice.
I worked around the chair. You sat.
I did not sit. I knelt on the ground for 3 hours and put them through holes.
Period of time you've been on your knees and...
It's now explicit. You're a dick.
What? It was not. It wasn't until you called me a dick. Now it is.
Sure.
MA-17.
We went to Shelburne Falls Coffee Roasters after brunch. My birthday's next week, so my parents offered to take the kids to play for a few hours today. And so we took advantage of it and went to Hope and Olive, which is my favorite place.
It was very good.
It's all Whole Foods, but it's so good. What else? We have Knitters for Knockers bags.
Ooh.
Be Vanna for a minute. These are the same bags that we offered last year. Mine's well worn. I brought it to the 3-day and everything. Knitters for Knockers is our team for the 3-day in Boston, which I'll be walking again this year. It's 60 miles in 3 days. You can go to www.MELIABELLA2013 to donate if you'd like.
Or just click the link.
There's going to be a link in the show notes, and $1 is amazing. $5, awesome. More than that, amazing.
More amazing.
Thank you so, so, so much for anything that you can do to help. You can also purchase a bag, and there will be a link right here with the address. Wee Sparrow, who owns the company that designs and then sends these out to print, is amazing and donates a few dollars from every bag to our cause. They get 13 cents profit after they donate to us, so they're taking essentially a hit on this to help us out. So if you want to add to your project bags, we would appreciate it. Also, we're doing the Antler Cardigan Knit Along in our group until at least the 31st. If you need more time, let me know. I'm more than happy to extend it for those of you who are still working on it. I can't wait to see a few more of them done. It's so fun. We're doing the knitted knockers. I'm starting mine probably tomorrow night. Sean picked this up as well. This is the Cascade. Excuse me. This is the Cascade Ultra Pima.
I was on my hands and knees crawling around looking for these ones.
This is the DK. You don't want to get the fingering weight. It's too light. And I didn't realize that there was more than the DK. Sean had originally bought the fingering weight, and he went running back in to exchange. And I had him get the magenta, which is 3701, and then this one, which is a taupe, and it's 3717. And this will make a couple pairs. So I'm actually sending half of each of these to my friend Hattie so that she can make a set as well. And they're 100% Pima cotton, and you want to go to our His and Hers Ravelry group for the link to specifics. You do have to use 100% Pima cotton, and it's because of how close it is to people's bodies. It's a very sensitive area post-operation, so we want to definitely make sure that the knockers that we're making are going to be used. If you want to look locally and see if there's an organization near you that collects them, go for it. If not, go to our link. They accept them daily. So thank you very much. I'm excited to make mine. I need to find some really festive buttons to go on mine.
Where do the buttons go?
I don't know. Oh. Smart ass. The other thing that I wanted to share is that my friend Amy, Froggy Monkey from the Round
You put tassels
Knitting
on
in
them
Circles. No tassels. From Knitting in Circles spun up some of my trifecta fiber, the Keegan Lane yarns, and she was as vibrant as the sun, or as bright, something like that. It was a Hunger Games reference. And she spun it up and offered it as a prize on her podcast, and the winner then designed a beret and knit it up. And she calls the beret the Swirl Beret, and it's by misdemeanor on Ravelry, and her name is Marge, but she goes by Maggie, and she's from Ohio. And she was sweet enough to write up the pattern, which I'm going to knit up in my hand spun.
Oh, that's cool.
And then hopefully she'll offer it either for purchase or a free download or something so that other people can knit it too. But it was so cool. I've never seen my fiber spun and then knit.
That's really
a lot of people hoard stuff or they spin it and they just don't end up knitting with it because other things come along. So it was so cool to see. So thank you, Marge. I'm excited to knit that up. And Amy, thank you for sharing your fiber with others. We have a 500 member drawing on our board. It's going to go until the first week in February. We'll close it then. So if you have yet to enter, you are allowed to do one post. You must be a member. We ask that you share the project that you're the most proud of or most excited about and a picture. It could be something you're working on now or something that's already done. Those are really the only rules. You can only enter once. I'm really sorry. I want to make it fair for everybody. So we're going to do 2 Ravelry pattern downloads, $7 each or lower. For 2 of the winners, and then a third winner is going to win the Bluebird bullseye bump that I spun up worsted as a 3-ply, and I got 135 yards. And this was sent to me from a friend. My friend Diane Knittable sent it to me a couple months ago, and I spun it up. Excuse the ends, I just used the ends of the fiber to tie it. It's a better look at it. But it's inspired by bluebirds, and it would make a really cute swirl beret.
It would.
So if that's something you wanted to knit up, you could, or you could do many, many, many other things. You could do a Voodoo You Love Me.
You could.
There you go. I hope you guys like that. The only other thing that I got this week in the mail is this month's Into the World double dose. This is the last time a double dose is going to come for now. I got the Starry Knot, which is the Starry Night Van Gogh inspiration. And this is in the classic base, which is her English Shetland, which is so yummy. And then this is her Manchester base, which is merino cashmere nylon. And Chris messaged her members to let us know that she buys her fibers in 6-month increments, which is crazy. It means that she must have a whole huge place, because that's a lot of fiber to store. Because she has the club. I do. She has the club. She has her shop updates. She does, this year she's doing 2 festivals, one at Rhinebeck, and she's doing Maryland, which I don't get to go to because I have to go to a concert back here at home. So she just has, 6 months increments of fiber and yarn, and she has to place her next 6-month increment order, and it went up $2 per shipment. So if you do the yarn, it went up $2. If you do the fiber, it went up $2. So I was thinking, as I was cleaning out my stash and reorganizing things, I have yet to knit any of my Into the World yarn that I've purchased or that has come in my club because I'm hoarding it. As if the apocalypse is coming and no more of it is ever going to be available. I don't know why. I need to knit it. And so I decided to alter things a little bit because I want to try some different fibers. I backed out of my club membership for the yarn and the fiber, and I moved over to the Luxe Fiber Club. So I'm going to get 1 dose of that and not any yarn or fiber, the regular fiber, for a while. If you're in the club, 2 weeks after the club ships in her monthly update, you have the option to buy the fiber or yarn that complements that month's color, or you can buy another dose of the club color if you're a member. So if I get one in the mail and I'm like, I need a whole pound of this, I'm doing a sweater, I can go on and buy it then, rather than getting a whole bunch of it and hoarding it like a squirrel.
Although equally as satisfying.
It is so satisfying, but I just feel like a glutton. So hopefully this will mean that, somebody can get bumped off the wait list for Chris. So I want to share the love. Like, Chris and her husband are amazing. I love them. So I'm really, really excited about this because Starry Night is my favorite painting, next to Monet Bridge of Flowers. Like, those two are my favorite in the world. And so when this came, I was jumping up and down. I bet you do.
That's what he could be.
Huh?
The screamer guy. He could put his hands up and... No?
How about I do a different one? I do like black and gray for that one. Okay.
You do the Screamer one, or the Scream.
There's going to be it's the Scream, yeah. Scream. There's going to be a million Voodoo dolls in this house. Oh my goodness.
We could have Friday night fights.
I forgot to say, speaking of Starry Night, my friend Jessilu, who I've known forever, and she's awesome, made this bag for me, and this is what my Voodoo is living in. It is the Starry Night TARDIS bag, and the inside, which you have to show, has stalkers in it. And it's now holding my Voodoo and the yarn for the next Voodoo, all in it with room to spare. So, Jessilu has news, and it's kind of my fault.
Not your fault.
Like,
well,
I
don't. That is, actually.
I have a lot of Jessilu bags. I have one in at least one in every single size, including the sweater bag, the spindle bag, a bunch of the small bags. I'm a Jessahor. And I almost have all of her prints, and so...
And that term is mine!
Oh my god. And so I selfishly decided that she needed new prints and started coming up with all sorts of prints that she should get. And this has been going on for like a month. It was around Christmas that I started texting her ideas, and I finally just said, if this is getting annoying, tell me to stop. And she said, nope, keep coming. So I did. So I'm happy to say that Jessilu's designer has made exclusive fabrics just for her. And one of them is a new Pride and Prejudice print that's just for Jessilu. And then she has a Downton Abbey print. That's my idea, and I'm so excited. And it's just like they're all in their little outfits, and you can tell like that one is Anna and that one is Bates, and oh, it's so exciting. And she also has Spaceballs, which she just sent that out last week. And the other one, and I don't even watch this show, but my dad does. I want to watch it from the beginning, which is why I haven't gotten into it, but Big Bang Theory, and it's the rock, paper, scissors, Spock ness of all of it, and so she did that one. And I told her a couple of other ideas, and they're not in color test yet, so I'm not supposed to talk about them. But I am so excited about those ones too. So I have at least 4 more bags coming.
Jesus.
So Jessilu's going to have the Downton and the Big Bang Theory fabric in the next 2 weeks, and she'll start cutting, sewing, and listing those. So you need to go follow her Facebook group. That's the #1 place to see her. She also has a Twitter. She's on Plurk. She's on Ravelry. But her Facebook group has kind of exploded over the last 2 days. So definitely hop over there. The social media is the best way to find out about it. You can also go to our His and Hers Facebook group. We post every time she updates. I post it on Plurk. I post it on Twitter. And I retweet it there when she posts hers. The thing that brings me the most joy out of this entire community is how everybody builds each other up. When somebody has something new coming out, you know, we all share the news because they're our friends. Like, it's not just, you know, like you go to Target and you buy a bag. Like, this is how they make their livelihood, so I want to see them succeed too. So, it's really exciting. I feel like there's something else I was supposed to talk about, and I can't remember what it was.
I think that might be it.
I hope so. If not, we'll tell you about it next
anything
week.
going on with the bail?
Oh, yes. The bail posted yesterday. I haven't read it yet because I want to, like, sit and enjoy.
Cup of coffee.
You know? But Clara was in Texas, and she put up on Facebook a picture of her hugging the bail because I asked her, I was like, Clara, can you hug the bail? And she said she would, and she sent a picture. And she's just hysterical. I'm glad she's home now because she can have real coffee.
Not much going on down there?
No. Nope, not where she
lattes?
was. She was not in a coffee place.
She had some good barbecue.
She had Folgers, crystals, as the option of where she was staying for coffee, and I felt so bad. So I had 2 coffees for her. One for me, one for her that day.
That explains that day.
The other thing that I wanted to say, and I almost missed it, because I didn't write it down on here, for what's on your plate this week, we have been making a lot of vegetables. And what I do is we will have like Brussels sprouts or sweet potatoes or asparagus or the ones you don't like.
Parsnips.
Parsnips.
They weren't that bad, actually.
What I do is I wash them, I chop them, and then I dry them just with a quick towel. And then I put them in my Temptations bakeware because nothing sticks to that, so you can caramelize vegetables really well and they clean up really easily. There's no scrubbing or soaking.
If you rinse them right after you take them out of the oven, it actually works a lot better.
Yeah, so you might want to make sure that you do the dishes right away instead of sitting on your ass. So anyway.
Yes, dear.
I put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil on them and then pepper, a little bit of salt, and I use a lot of garlic powder on my food. And I just toss them and then put them in the oven. And I usually bake them at about 400 until they're fork tender, so it's usually about half hour, 45 minutes-ish. I do blanch my Brussels sprouts first, so I will take them, I cut the ends off, take the leaves that look a little peaked off the edges, boil them for just a few minutes, steam them, and then take them out, cut them in half, put them in the oven. So I love the way that roasted vegetables taste, whether it's on the grill roasted or in the oven. They're just amazing. I grew up with most of my vegetables being steamed, which I think has its place.
Boiled.
But I am obsessed with like kale and Swiss chard and mushrooms. I could eat mushrooms all day long. So just having that as our sides.
The edible cooked kind.
Right. I've never
keeping above the
done anything else like that my whole life. But they're so good. And then we usually do like a grilled chicken or like a hamburger or turkey burger with Swiss or something just to pair with it. And it goes really well and it's fast. I mean, you just chop it up, throw it in the oven, and you can do other stuff while they're baking.
Yep.
So, that's our What's on Your Plate for this week.
15 pounds for me.
Oh, high five. I don't know what I am yet this week. I'll let you guys know, but up until now, 11 pounds. So, and this is just eating high protein veggies. We do popcorn in the evenings.
Snacks, popcorn, nuts, beef
cheese, cheese sticks. I've been doing Siggy's yogurt in the morning. I'm not going to do as much of that this week. I'm going to do more eggs in the mornings.
And I've been doing a white chocolate macadamia Cliff Bar for breakfast with a coffee. And that gets me fine until lunch.
Yeah, we do a lot of hard-boiled eggs.
If I have a granola bar sometime mid-afternoon, I can make it till dinner okay.
But your granola bar is a Cliff Bar. It's not like
it's a crunchy. It's a crunchy.
snack.
No, it's a crunchy. It's another Cliff Bar. It's a crunchy granola, but it's.
And we have yet to go to the gym.
And this is all just from changing how you eat. That's it.
So we will be joining the gym.
Which is terrifying to think, wow, the weight we were maintaining, eating what we were eating. And it's like...
We weren't maintaining, we were gaining.
Well,
at
you
a
were
clip.
gaining. But it's like, just changing how you eat and then being able to lose that. I know at some point we'll both stop losing and then we'll have to do more to lose more. But
my job is
amazing to see your body just kind of acclimate to the diet you're on and bring itself into control. So
my job is sitting at a desk. I drive to work.
I'm on my feet all day. I mean, when I was driving around, I was eating fast food. I'd take a lunch, but I wouldn't make it home by dinner, and I'd have to grab something or I'd pass out. So
well, it's because we were eating highly processed foods. It didn't have any fiber. It didn't have much protein. It was garbage. So I feel so much better.
Yeah. So
I'll probably be joining the gym in February. And going early in the morning. I don't think I'll be doing 2-a-days or anything like I used to. My whole thought this time around is I'd rather lose more weight than carry the weight while I lose it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was working out at, it was almost 230 a year ago and losing weight that way, but it was all turning directly to muscle. Mm-hmm. I don't want that all to stay as muscle. So that's why I'm eating right now and losing, and then we'll join the gym to tone later and start to train because I've got the 3-day coming up. So we've got to...
You gotta get Stanley ready to go.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to decorate him.
Yep. I think that we should save milk jugs and spray paint them pink, and it can be the Jugmobile.
The Jugmobile. That's good. I think that's good. I like that.
You just like tie them onto rope.
Yeah.
And then put them through the windows, like if the windows can stay down.
Yeah.
But we've got to get you a support staff.
I know, guys.
Anybody in the Boston area or who wants to come in,
I'll pick you up.
We'd be happy to have you. It's a long 3 days, and The middle day last year was really hard. I mean, my friend Bryn was there, but she walks so much faster than I do.
I was there the first day and the last day, but
part of the last
I couldn't
day.
make it the middle day. It was just too much work and stuff.
But the very first day, having you there at the stops made it so that I got to that next stop. Because it was hot.
Yeah.
And humid, and it was 20 miles that first day, and at every single stop I just burst out crying. It's like, I don't know, if I have 3 days of this, I don't know if I can do this. And that second day, we go up that hill to the water tower in, what town is that?
I don't know.
No.
I can't remember.
Arlington? Something. It's straight up 2 miles. And I was just sobbing. And that's how you start the day. So it's tough, but it's not as hard as chemo or transplants.
I'm gonna get wigwag and strobe in them too and drive around.
You're not doing that.
I'm gonna try.
No, you are not.
I get a license.
It would be really fun if some of our friends would fly in. So the invitation is there. I'm not camping. I have been saving my Marriott points for 2 years, and I am staying in style with a bathroom and a bed at the local Marriott. So we will have aero beds and cots if you want to come stay with us. So you can find me on Plurk. I'm really only on there a couple times a day as Meliabella. I'm on Ravelry as Meliabella. Twitter, Flickr, Instagram, which is my favorite. I love people's pictures. Words with Friends. I love playing Words with Friends. And you are Viper.
Viper413 on Instagram, _413 on Twitter.
And Ravelry.
And Ravelry. Is it underscore Ravelry too? I think so, yeah. Because
Okay.
I lost my other one.
And you're Viper989 on PSN.
Viper99 on PSN. And I only really use Facebook, Instagram, and on PlayStation Network. I don't really tweet. And I should do more on Ravelry, but I don't. So.
At least you're honest. So I think that's it for this week.
Yep.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks for stopping by.
Bye.